Why, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Truly Odd podcast, where we bring you the latest in game news and movie news. I'm your host, Joe Garcia. So grab your controllers, get your popcorn, and let's go ahead and dive right on in, shall we? Starting with our game news topic of the day. And sadly, we have some sad news to start off with. Now, forgive me, I don't believe I know how to pronounce his name properly, but the creator of Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden has passed away at the age of 58. I believe his name is pronounced Tomonobu Itagaki. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. But Tomonobu Itagaki, known for his bold creative vision and founding Team Ninja, dies at the age of 58, leaving behind a legacy that includes Dead or Alive and the modern Ninja Gaiden series. His passing was confirmed by family following a heartfelt farewell message shared by his close friends. Tributes have poured in across the game industry, including Team Ninja, Ed Boon, and Katsuharu Harada. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing that name incorrectly as well. From his rise at Tecmo and to his departure after a legal dispute, Tagaki remained a fierce advocate of creative integrity. Forgive me, guys. Later, mentoring young developers and founding Tagaki Games. His death comes just days before the release of Ninja Gaiden 4 and a franchise he helped define. Forgive me, guys. I'm dyslexic and I can't pronounce these names, but I think it's sad that we lost him. I grew up playing Ninja Gaiden with my friend Xavier, who was on the show a while ago. So it's really sad to see him go, but it's really nice that we also had a great creative vision from him, and we got series continuing to go with Dead or Alive or Ninja Gaiden as we have a new Ninja Gaiden coming out. So I just want to thank him for his hard work and working in the game industry, and he's one of the people that inspired me to get into working in the game industry myself. So I'm very grateful for him and everything he got to bring to my childhood and all the joy he brought. So please join me in a moment of silence. And sadly, we must continue and move on, but rest in peace, Tagaki. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing his name correctly. That being said, guys, let's go ahead and move over to our next game news topic of the day. And our next game news topic of the day is regarding Nintendo response to Crimson Collective hack and denies leaks of sensitive data. Let's go ahead and take a look here. In a statement to the Shanaki Simbon, which I believe is a news corporation in Japan, Nintendo acknowledged a server breach by hacker group Crimson Collective, but claims no development or business data was compromised. So this is interesting, especially after what happened with PSN and its outage a while ago, because a lot of people on the internet were assuming that that was a hack. But it looks like if that was the case, it looks like Nintendo was also the one being hacked as well. But no information was revealed as of yet, as far as like any information that was given. Despite widespread social media criticism of alleged development files for Nintendo and Pokemon Company, they have yet to comment on the latest leaks and identify those responsible. So it looks like they do know that it was Crimson Collective, but we don't know exactly who from there or what exactly was the cause of it. But just letting you guys know, if you have a Nintendo account, your guys' account should be safe according to what Nintendo has put out and said. But just be on the lookout just in case something comes up. You guys definitely want to be safe when it comes to hacking stuff like this, because game industry has a lot of personal information that you want to keep safe. All right, guys, that being said, let's go ahead and move on to some better news. And our next game news topic of the day is regarding Mouse PI for Hire showcased hand-drawn FPS style at IGN's Fall Fan Fest 2025. Now, if you haven't seen this game looks absolutely phenomenal. Like, here are some of the images right here. I cannot wait to play this game. I know it's kind of like a first person version of Cuphead, but I feel like I haven't really seen a game like this. Like, I know I seen the cartoon style from Cuphead, but like the fact that we got a first person aspect cartoon game, I don't believe we've seen anything of this sort. And the drawing and everything that they have behind it is so cool. Everything looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And they have a little bit of a teaser, kind of teasing into a deep dive that they're going to do later on. Let me see if I can play this for you guys. It is short, but YouTube, again, bit of a bitch, so I'm going to keep everything on mute while I let it play, and I'll read to you guys some of the details we got regarding this game. Excuse me, guys. Hold on. Come on, ad. There we go. Fumi Games and Playside premiered a trailer highlighting the hand-drawn visuals and retro-inspired design of Mouse PI for Hire, blending Cuphead-style animation and Doom-like gameplay. The trailer previews new locations, characters, weapons, with Troy Baker voicing Detective Jack Pepper in the noir-themed FPS set to launch across all major platforms. A full development deep dive will air during the ID at Xbox showcase on October 28th, while the official release date will be announced at the Galaxy Game Showcase on October 23rd. So it looks like we're going to be getting a final release date for this coming soon, which I'm very, very excited. I'm hoping we get it holiday season of 2025 because this is a game I'm very much looking forward to playing. If you guys haven't seen the trailer, there's also some other gameplay online, but we will be getting a deeper dive in the game on October 28th. So I'm excited to see that. And this game, I'm just super, super excited and hyped to play. Like something that is dumb, but I absolutely love. Where is it at? There's a scene here where he's firing a shotgun. I think this is the scene here. And just the way that the muzzle flips up cartoony is so, so good. And I hope we get references to classic cartoons like Popeye in here and stuff like that. I would absolutely love that. You know, the idea for power-ups, for weapons, like there's so many references that could be made to classic cartoons, and I think that's very exciting for a game like this. And look at just this classic design that they did, the way that they drew it, classically hand-drawn, and then brought it into the game. What a phenomenal way to make a game like this. I feel a game like this developed for multiplayer like Call of Duty would be something I'd be interested in as well. So hopefully if it does very well, they can develop it even further. But I'm liking the campaign because I'm more of a campaign guy. But this does look like a lot of fun. Let me know what you guys think of Mouse PI for Hire. Is it a game that you guys are interested in? What do you think of the art style? Do you love it like I do? Alright guys, that being said, let's go ahead and move over to our next game news topic of the day. And our next game news topic of the day... Oh, hold on. Did I get my stories mixed up here? No, I did not. Okay. Looks like Dead Space creator Glen Schofield eyes franchise revival after EA's ownership change. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Here's the gentleman that is being discussed right now. Glen Schofield, creator of Dead Space, recently approached EA with a cost-saving proposal to develop a sequel, but the publisher rejected the idea. Now, mind you, this was before it was just bought out by this new company. But following EA's $55 billion acquisition by PIF, Silver Lake, and Affinity Partners, Schofield believes dormant IPs like Dead Space could be sold or revived under new leadership. Despite critical acclaim for its 2023 remake, poor sales have slated further development, leaving fans with only cameo appearances and speculation about a potential film and TV adaptation. But I think this is great news now that we have new people coming in to own EA. It might be time for him to pitch his idea once again to the new leadership and see if that's something that they're interested. Now, I don't know exactly what the numbers are. I don't know if they've lost money on Dead Space. If Dead Space is a successful franchise as far as the trilogy is concerned, I'd have to see the numbers for them to see if it's even beneficial. I feel the remake did phenomenal, but we don't know exactly what the numbers were. At least I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to do some research into that. But let's just say it broke even. I think with this new studio heads and new leadership, having a IP come back like Dead Space, and people are very interested in that franchise, but having an IP return would be something really good for the new leadership to showcase that they're going to be doing something different than the original leadership at EA. So I'm curious what new games we're going to be seeing developed under them, and also what older IPs that we're going to be revamped. Hopefully Dead Space is one of them, but I love the fact that Glen Schofield is definitely trying to get Dead Space off the ground, whether that be him purchasing the IP rights and bringing it to another studio, or whether that be them continuing the IP under him and him developing and pitching his original idea for the game to this new company. It all varies. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. Are you interested in another Dead Space game, possibly a Dead Space 4 or a remake of Part 2 and 3? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Alright guys, that being said, let's go ahead and move over to our last game news topic of the day. And our last game news topic of the day is regarding Battlefield 6 is breaking franchise records with 7 million copies sold in just 3 days. Now, mind you, it's been out more than 3 days, but we're finally getting updates from EA on how the sales for this game are turning out. So EA confirms Battlefield 6 sold 7 million copies in the first 3 days, marking the biggest debut in franchise history and generating over 172 million matches played. The game reaches 440,000 at its peak concurring players on Steam, and logs more than 15 million hours of gameplay streams, yes, with developers actively responding to player feedback through rapid hot fixes. The first season launches on October 28th with new content, including Rogue Ops and 4v4 mode, setting the stage for a competitive showdown with Call of Duty Black Ops 7 in November. So I think this is absolutely phenomenal. And just so you guys could see some numbers here, let's bring up the calculator. Now, mind you, this game is $80. Or is it $80? Is it $70 or $80? It's $70. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's $70. Sorry, I bought this edition, the Phantom Edition. But let's just say all of the sales were $70. We got 7 million times $70. And mind you, they possibly made more than this because they got the Phantom Edition, whatever other edition, not including season passes and all that stuff. So they're probably looking at around $500 million already in the first 3 days. So what numbers, like phenomenal. And this isn't even mentioning pre-orders, I don't think, as well. So congratulations to the team over there, and they're just going to be continuing to make numbers. This will probably end up being at the end of the run probably $800 million profit for the studio once it's all said and done in a couple years. And congratulations to them in just 3 days. I wish I could get that kind of money. Man, that's crazy and awesome that they developed this game, and I'm so far having a lot of fun with it. I'm continuing to play the campaign. Sadly, I haven't had time to really tackle it all. Got a lot going on here at home, but I've enjoyed what I've played so far, and the multiplayer has just been absolutely phenomenal. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. Do you think $7 million in the first 3 days are solid? Do you think Call of Duty is going to keep up with these numbers, or do you think they have some very strong competition and people aren't interested in Black Ops 7? I'm curious to know what you guys think, so let me know. Alright guys, that does it for our game news topics of the day. Let's go ahead and move over to our movie news topic. And our first movie news topic of the day is regarding Miramax buys Trey Russell's London Ghost Tour pitch for 7 figures. Let's go ahead and take a look here. So if you don't know who this gentleman is, I believe he's been the writer of some of the Shrek franchise, some of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, and so on. Like, he's done a lot of work in the film industry, so he's definitely well known for a lot of the stuff that he's been doing. He's also been writing on a lot of the Godzilla x Kong films, so he's been the writer behind quite a bit of franchises, just so you know when we're talking about this gentleman, who we're talking about. Anyways, Miramax has acquired London Ghost Tours, a family-friendly theme park scary film written by Terry Rossio, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, and directed by Josh Cooley, with plans for a 3-film arc. The 7-figure upfront deal signals renewed studio interest in original concepts from proven creators, with Russell's past credits totaling over $12 billion at the global box office. And the reason it's $12 billion is because of the franchise I told you about, Godzilla x Kong, Shrek, Pirates of the Caribbean. He's behind a lot of things like that, so that's why it's $12 billion in the global box office, as he's been the writer on a lot of those projects. Anyways, what is it? Described as a blend of Night of the Museum and American Werewolf in London, the project is being fast-tracked by Die Bonaventure Pictures. I think I'm saying that right. While Rossio also develops a secret collaboration with Mr. Beast. So this is interesting news, and I think he was also a part. Oh my god, what was that movie called? Hold on, it's gonna bother me, guys. It was that other horror movie that used to be books, not Goosebumps. Was it Don't Look Under the? It's not Don't Look Under the Bed. What was it called? Damn it, it's gonna bother me. Let's see here. No, that's not them. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe it was someone else. Let's see here. I'm looking at his writing. As a matter of fact, I'll bring up his writing credits so you guys can see them yourselves as well. So here's some of his writing credits. Godzilla vs. Kong, Godzilla x Kong. What do we got here? We got Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. And then we got Shrek. So he's worked on a lot of different franchises. You know what? I don't think he worked on the one that I'm thinking about. But, damn it. If you guys know that horror movie or that horror franchise that came out that was based off books, it was like Don't Look Under the Bed or something, or Bedtime Stories, some bullshit like that. I can't remember what it's called, but if you guys know what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments down below. But this is very interesting to see what's going to be becoming of this movie and what he's going to bring to the table. I think he's a phenomenal writer. Not all of his projects have been great, but he's done a great job so far in the industry, so I'm very curious how this is going to turn out. Anyways, guys, that being said, let's go ahead and move over to our next movie news topic. And our next movie news topic is regarding George Clooney and Annette Bening is set to star in Paul Weitz adaptation of Amy Boehm's In Love. Forgive me, guys, if I fumbled through that, but let's go ahead and take a look here. George Clooney and Annette Bening will lead In Love, based on Amy Bloom's best-selling memoir with Oscar nominee Paul Weitz directing and co-written alongside by Bloom. In Love, Memoirs of Love and Loss, follows a devoted couple as they confront the devastating impact of Alzheimer's disease and makes the courageous decision to pursue assisted suicide in Switzerland. Through wit, tenderness, and emotional honesty, the film explores themes of enduring love, autonomy, and complexities of saying goodbye. This sounds like a very emotional wreck of a film. So it's definitely one that's not necessarily going to be rom-com-y, but I'm sure that they're going to have very comical aspects of it. There'll probably be flashbacks similar to, The Notebook and things like that. So I'm very curious how this project will turn out. And George Clooney is continuing to do interesting projects, now that he's going to be doing 007. And this project sounds interesting. And I love Annette Bening. She's a phenomenal actress as well. So this sounds like it's going to be an interesting film and probably tug at the heartstrings. They're probably going to be going for an Oscar pool, seeing that the contents of this film and the kind of synopsis that we have for what the book is. So I'm pretty sure that they're going to be going in for the Oscar Beatty kind of win next year, but we'll have to keep an eye out for this. But let me know what you guys think of In Love. Is it a movie that you'd be interested in seeing? Me, probably not. I like feel-good movies, and this does not seem feel-goody to me, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Speaking of feel-good movies, this one sounds more feel-good to me. It looks like Jim Carrey is in talks to star in a Warner Brothers live-action adaptation of the Jetsons film, set to be directed by Colin Trevorrow. Excuse me, guys. Losing my voice here. Now, nothing's guaranteed yet. I think Colin Trevorrow is kind of circling the project, but Jim Carrey is in negotiations to lead Warner Brothers' adaptation of a classic Hanna-Barbera cartoon, with Colin Trevorrow and Joe Epstein in talks to direct and write. The original Jetsons aired in 1960s and was rebooted in the 1980s, following George Jetson and his family in a whimsical future of flying cars and robotic helpers. As of now, no official synopsis has been released of the live-action Jetson film. But I think this is interesting because I know Jim Carrey a while back was talking about retiring, but it seems like the Sonic movies kept pulling him back in, and it just made it very interesting to see what he has done with that. So I would love to see what Jim Carrey would do in a Jetsons film. Hopefully he's playing George Jetson or has a major role in the film. because I would love to see more of Jim Carrey and his comedy. He just brings a lot to anything that he does and anything he works on. For me, I would love another Dumb and Dumber movie. I would love to see him in anything he really does, because I feel Jim Carrey is a phenomenal actor and a great comedic star. You know, I feel like we've lost a lot of important comics over the years with Robin Williams, and you know, we still have people on that level. I feel like Jim Carrey's on the level of Robin Williams for me, as far as my childhood and how I grew up with them. So to see him still making movies and still doing comedies in the Sonic films and hopefully now the Jetsons films, I absolutely love that. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Would you love to see Jim Carrey's in a Jetsons movie, and are you hoping he leads this project? Let me know what you guys think. Excuse me, guys. That being said, let's go ahead and move over to our next movie news topic. And our next movie news topic is regarding Anthony Boyle. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Anthony Boyle is emerged as a dark horse contender for the James Bond role. Let's go ahead and take a look here, guys. If you don't know who we're talking about, that's this gentleman right here. If you don't recognize him with the beard, I have him in the front standing up here. And if you don't recognize him at all, even with that picture, that's kind of the point. So let's go ahead and take a look here. North Irish actor Jonathan Boyle is climbing the odds to become the next James Bond, thanks in part to his lead role in House Gwynnis, I think I'm pronouncing that right, written by current Bond screenwriter Stephen Knight. With acclaimed performances in Master of the Air, Tetris, and Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, Boyle's age, talent, and rising profile aligns with Amazon's reported desire for a younger and lesser known Bond. So he's not a very known actor, and I think that's kind of the point that we're getting at here with this actor and why he might be eyed for the role. Just so you guys know projects that he's been in, as far as Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, that is a stage play, so to know that he's been in plays as well is kind of beneficial for what they're looking at as far as him being a phenomenal actor. He might not be well known. Here are some of the projects that he has been in. Not writing, not directing, just acting. So just so you know, here's some of the TV series and films that he's been in. I only seen him in Tetris, which I saw a while back. I haven't seen any other projects that he has been involved in. So I think that's kind of more beneficial for his odds of becoming the next James Bond, because he's not well known and he's a great actor according to some of the acclaim that he's been getting. So it makes sense for them to be eyeing an actor of his sorts. He seems to be a handsome looking guy, so it makes sense for them to eye him. But let's go ahead and continue some of the details here. As Amazon reshapes the Bond universe with Denis Villeneuve and Knight at the helm, fans await confirmation of who will carry the franchise forward. Boyle is now stands alongside front runners like Aaron Taylor Johnson, which I don't think he would be a good fit for the role, only because he is more of a well-known actor than most other of the actors on this list. Thomas James and Harris Dickinson. Just so you guys know who these guys are, let's go ahead and pull them up. So here is Thomas James, which he has been in quite a bit of movies, so I don't think that he would be a fit for the role. Plus, he's in his 40s, and I know they're looking for a younger Bond. Let's see what else. Harris Dickinson, let's go ahead and take a look at him. That is this guy. Oh, yeah, he's the one from what is it? No, where is it at? I thought he was in 1917. Was that the movie? Was he not in 1917? I thought he was the guy running in 1917. Did I get him confused with someone else? Oh, that's going to bother me now. Let's see here. He acted... Who was that guy in 1917 then, if it wasn't this guy? But he was in the other Kingsman movie. Let's see. 1917. Who is this guy? Oh, shit, they look alike. Okay, so I thought it was this guy. They kind of look alike. I would have thought that was the same guy. He's also being eyed for James Bond as well. But again, I feel like these actors are more known than the other guy that we were discussing. But these guys are younger. This is, I believe, Harris Dickinson is 29 years old, so definitely looking the younger parts. But we'll have to wait and see what ends up happening with James Bond. I just think it's interesting who they got eyeing for the role. And with this guy, Anthony Boyle seems to be an interesting choice for a James Bond role, but it makes a lot of sense. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Who would you guys like to see as James Bond? And I'd be curious to know what actor and why. I don't think they'll be going with Americans, so you'll probably have to select a British actor, kind of more towards his early 30s. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. All right, guys. That being said, let's go ahead and move over to our last movie news topic of the day. And our last movie news topic is regarding Paramount renewing... Paramount renewing Walter Hamada's 18 Hertz Productions in multi-year horror deal. Let's go ahead and take a look here. If you don't know who Walter Hamada is, I think he was temporarily at Warner Brothers and kind of leading the DCU over there. So he didn't do a very good job when it came to that. Now, I don't think that's necessarily his fault. He kind of came in late into that aspect of leadership, I feel, or more towards the latter end of that. It was more Zack Snyder's thing until Zack Snyder kind of got booted and then Walter Hamada came in. At least that's my recollection of what happened. But it seems that he's been teaming up with Paramount on the horror front and the horror aspect and doing his own thing with his 18 Hertz production company. So Paramount Pictures, now under David Ellis, has renewed its deal with genre producing Walter Hamada, continuing their collaboration on annual low to mid budget horror films. Hamada's next release, Prime, hits theaters on January 9th with the cast including Johnny Squalia, I think that's how you pronounce it, and Terry Kotzer, and follows a tropical vacation turns survival horror. There's also a list of other horror movies that they are currently working on here, their writers and things like that. I think that's listed right here. So if you guys are interested in knowing what else that they're working on, but it makes sense. Oh, sorry, no, that's this list. Where was I What was I reading? Oh no, I was thinking about something else. Sorry. Here's the list of other things that they're working on right here. An untitled movie by this director, Familiar by this director, and Suffering Little Children by this director. If you're curious in checking out any of these horror films. But I think the important part is I think every studio is really starting to focus not necessarily on a lot of horror, but the importance of horror, which you see The Conjuring, what that has done so far with building up its franchise potential. And on top of that, being low budget films and making more than what it's basically made for chump change horror film as far as the movie is concerned. When you have $100 million to $200 million films being developed by these studios and horror films costing $16, $20, $25 million, it's like nothing compared to what they're usually developing. So for them to develop horror films, Universal has Blumhouse, Warner Brothers has the team behind The Conjuring, which is James Wong, if I'm not mistaken. So Paramount is now focusing on more of their horror aspect in this. I think this makes a lot of sense, especially with David Ellis taking over. So far, he's made interesting decisions taking over Paramount, and I think this is another interesting decision, seeing what projects they have moving forward as far as the horror aspect of things. But let me know what you guys think of this deal in the comments down below. Do you think it makes sense for David Ellis and the people of Paramount to continue to work with Walter Hamada and 18 Hertz with their horror franchise? And what do you guys hope that they're going to continue to work on, and which one of these projects, if any, sound interesting to you, and which ones would you guys be interested in seeing? So let me know in the comments down below. All right, guys, that's a wrap for today's episode of the Truly Odd Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you guys like this episode, please like and subscribe, and always, guys, remember, stay true, be odd.